Akabo wa akatu. This is Daku, and today I want to share with you or give you a visual of the system in which you live. Okay? Now, what you see in front of you is a checkerboard. And for all of you that don't know how to play checkers, the only way you can move the pieces is on the black spaces. And I guess it just came to me that why can you only advance if you move on the black spaces? But that's another topic for another time. Perhaps it's the exploitation thing. But I digress. So if you move on the red spaces, you're going outside of the confines of the law. You've broken the law. You must remain on the black spaces in order to make it, in order to progress or proceed with your movements. Now, looking at the board, you already know that it started out unfairly. Even though it started out unfairly, there are a few opportunities for the black pieces to move and advance. Okay? Your options are limited, your options are few, but there are a few opportunities for the black pieces to advance and move and progress. Alright? Now the black pieces that have been able to progress a little bit, they look back at these black pieces. The black pieces, if you didn't know, represent the black man and black woman. They look back at these black pieces and say, you know, you can make it. See me, I've made it. See how far I've progressed? I've made it. So you can make it. So these pieces back here will say, well, how did you make it? Well, I became educated. I made the right choices in life. But looking at the picture here that we are painting with the checkerboard, you see that, okay, yes, they made the right choices, which even the choices were limited. So instead of moving here so that they can be taken out, they moved here. Many times the choices that you make are simply, you stand at the crossroads and you can either go left or right. That's the basics, the basis of your choices here. You don't have a lot of options within the system. Now, the people that are over here, they understand, man, no matter which way I move, if I move this way, I get taken out. If I stand still, I'm stagnant, I don't go anywhere. So they attempt to move in different directions. They attempt to use the red spaces. Well, we just told you if you use the red spaces, you're breaking the law. So eventually, you may just get caught. Okay? So the jails that we have here in the hells of North America, they're filled with rebellious individuals. Those that are revolutionary. Because they went outside the confines of the law in order to move because they saw that the game was fixed. But we look at people in jail like they're abnormal. Why would they do what they did to get locked up? They're not abnormal. They're looking at the fixed game and they're saying, man, we got to do something to get out of this condition. So the only way that I can move is get on this red space to get around the unbalanced nature of the system. So if they get caught, they go to prison, which is represented by this box over here. Or they get taken out. Okay? Now the only way, instead of us trying to convince these folks back here that they need to get educated, that they need to make better choices, because you see right here, the choices are limited. Some people just don't have the same choices. This one over here has no choice. What way you going to tell this person to move? You move up here, you get taken out. You stay here, you're stagnant. But it's human nature to want to move and evolve and get out of negative conditions. So this piece is trying to find any type of way to move. Can't go this way. So he can only go to the right, onto the red space. Diagonal, onto this next red space. That's the only way he's got to move. But Negroes up here that have more of an opportunity to make choices, they look back on these black people back here and say, well, you just didn't make the right choices, man. What you going to do? And where's this piece going to move, by the way? Because these other black pieces here are in the way. And they're not looking at it collectively. They're looking at the world individually, as the system of racism, white supremacy is based on individuality. Okay? It's based on exploitation and destruction. It's based on overindulgence. So as an individual, you're seeking to indulge yourself. So this person ain't going to stay right here while this person moves through. Or if he does stay here and this person moves through, once this person gets up in this region, they tend to forget about these people back here because it's not a collective. It's based on individuality. Now these people back here don't have any options except but to break the law. Because if they can't move this way because these black pieces are in the way. So they got to move into enemy territory, or they have to break the law. And remember, they move into enemy territory, they get taken out. They break the law and get caught, they go to jail. Those are your options. Now, in a natural world, you have more options than just, okay, I'm going to be a politician, I'm going to be an entertainer, okay, I'm going to be an athlete. And there are a few other options, but you can name them whatever you think they are. But the game is still stacked against you. All right? So you say, we got to do it the right way, Daku. We got to do it the right way. We got to work within the system. We believe in the law, Trayvon's parents said. We believe in the law. How in the hell can you believe in the law when you're looking at the game and the game is set up from the beginning? Okay? So the only way, looking at this situation, you know what the way is. You know the way out of this condition. You keep asking us, well, what is the solution? Y'all keep complaining, but y'all not giving us the solution. Those of us that are true revolutionaries, those of us that believe in the principle of black power and black supremacy, we understand that you have to have black power and black supremacy in order to counteract racism, white supremacy. There's no way around it. So black supremacy isn't going to say, or black power isn't going to say, okay, rise up in the ranks of the system of racism, white supremacy. It's going to say, come out all together as a people. And then you can have economics, group economics. Then you can have education. Education is going to benefit you and your people. Okay? Then you can use your talents and your gifts to establish your own rules. Okay? And you're going to move as a group, as a unit. So this person's going to cover this person's weaknesses. Each person in the group is going to contribute to the group, to life itself. You're not going to have, as you did on a checkerboard, some pieces that simply have nowhere to move. They can contribute nothing because whichever way they move, they're stuck. They get taken out. They get thrown in prison for breaking the law. This game is fixed. You wouldn't start a game like this if you were playing a game. But because you've convinced yourself and you've been brainwashed to believe that this is the only game in town, you can't even imagine anything outside of the confines of racism, white supremacy. You can't even imagine it. Even the most brilliant of our people have difficulty imagining living on the outside of racism, white supremacy. That is your answer when you ask, what is it we must do? Is it economics, Daku? Hell no, it's not economics. Well, maybe we can buy some land. We can get together and buy this little piece of land over here. Okay, you got this land right here, but you're still in a game that is set up unfairly. So these folks over here can come down and based on their treatment of the land, they're using all types of chemicals and what have you. When it rains, the chemical runs down onto your land. You have to come out and get away from these people and come over here and get your own land and establish your own system. That's the way you're going to survive. In this system, everybody survives. It's the natural way. In this system, the game is already stacked against you. You can't play a game that's stacked against you. That's unfair. That's set up for you to fail. With only a few routes out and not really out, you're just progressing within the confines of the system that's oppressing the rest of you and the rest of your people. There's no guarantee in this type of system. There's a much better chance outside of the system. This has been Daku, Akabo, Wa Akatu.